Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I understand that a large majority of the people who are going to be watching this video have never seen my other videos before, but just in case you guys don't know, I was once a big hater of XDefiant, then somewhere along the road turned into a little bit of a truther and was really riding for this game's success. Even with the game not having the best launch of all time, I was able to kind of look past it because I was looking into the future and seeing good things for XDefiant. But nobody told me though I should have been wearing my goddamn glasses because things look a lot better sometimes when they're blurry. Now, what the hell do I mean by that? Well, it looks like XDefiant is in a little bit of trouble in the player count department. Something that, just recently a lot of other games have been having issues with. I do, however, want to look into some of the things that are going on with XDefiant right now, kind of talk about where the game is at since it's been out for a little bit of time, and just give my overall thoughts on the situation. So if that sounds good and you like what you've seen today, then like and sub for more content like this. This video has also been brought to you by Level Up Apparel. Use code LVLUP10, that's Level Up 10, for 10% off any order over $20. Tap into the mosh pit, socials down below. Okay, let's get into it. So on August 30th, I was scrolling through X and I was seeing that people were talking about like the farewell beta event for Delta Force going on. Black Ops 6 beta dropped and I was looking to see what people's general consensus was on both of these things. Then all of a sudden I seen something from XDefiant Alert saying XDefiant might lose its post-launch support if the player count don't improve by the end of Season 3. The game is reportedly struggling to hit even 20,000 concurrent players across all platforms. That immediately sparked my interest and I looked at the tweet even further and I seen an article written by none other than Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming about what this actually means for XDefiant. But before we dig into the article just a little bit more, we have people in the comments kind of like, I guess, blindsided by this information. Like they don't really understand why the game is not in a good spot. And I'm here to tell you guys right now that even with me being a supporter of XDefiant, I'm still able to look at the issues that the game has and that the studio has that's running it. The writing is on the wall. May have not been super clear at first, but now that I'm up closer, it reads perfectly, reads black and white like a legal document. And some of these people are obviously trying to cope by saying that the game is way more fun than COD. We just need more content. Then you have more people saying, just put it on Steam and it'll increase in player numbers, which is, I mean, not true at all. But there is a lot of things still wrong with XDefiant that should have been fixed a long time ago, and everyone is starting to notice that now. And again, it kind of doesn't make sense to me why people are so surprised that the game is not doing good. Mark Rubin hasn't really talked about the game's overall success in quite some time. So if he's not talking about it and the issues with the game are still there, what does that say about the game itself? Like, where does the integrity of the game lie right now in terms of player number stability? But I want to go ahead and kind of dig into this Insider Gaming article written by, again, Tom Henderson. The title is Exclusive: XDefiant is on borrowed time as player numbers decline rapidly. Tom opens up the article by saying, according to several sources at Ubisoft San Francisco has until the end of Season 3 of XDefiant to improve the game's bleak player numbers. Tom continues by saying XDefiant was all the buzz when it launched in May 2024. The game exceeded 1 million unique players in the first 2.5 hours, which is a Ubisoft record, and exceeded over 8 million players in its first week. Executives were thrilled at the title's future and even reported in the company's latest press release that XDefiant revenue contributed to its Q1 2025 financial success. But now, just 6 weeks from its Q1 financial report, Ubisoft headquarters wants player numbers to increase by Season 3 or XDefiant risks losing its much-needed post-launch support. After sitting here and reading to you guys exactly what the fuck I just said, I am left more upset than I was whenever they delayed the game like 20,000 goddamn times before it actually dropped. You mean to sit here and tell me that you guys delayed this fucking game so many times? You had people just pissed the hell off and you kept telling people, hey, listen guys, we'll make it right. Well, I promise we'll make it right. You release the game, it's not perfect, but it's playable. It gets the people who don't like COD on board for a little bit. They get tired and bored of the shit because the game is still fucking broken. And now all of a sudden, you guys are gonna cut support by the end of Season 3 if shit don't get better in the player numbers department. And you guys also have to remember that a couple months ago, Tom reported on the studio's toxic work culture surrounding the boys club. And of course, that didn't help player numbers either. But I feel like where that pissed off a lot of people because of how wrong the situation was, there is still a fair amount of players who are gonna separate art from the artist, and people are not impressed with the art anymore, and they're sure as fuck not impressed with the artist. Now, if you guys wouldn't mind, I would like to go ahead and just reuse something that I said about Concord in my last video. I've noticed that when games nowadays do worse than expected, I noticed that studios are very quick to just fire people to stop the hemorrhaging of money. They can stop paying as many people and put it into fixing the game. But instead, at least in my observant eyes, it makes it worse over time. You're not necessarily treating the wound, you're just kind of putting pressure on it and you're not doing anything to close it. But I understand why people lose their jobs in situations like this. It is super unfortunate, but it does happen for a very specific reason. It's something above my pay grade and something I just don't quite understand. And speaking about layoffs, Tom talks about this in the very next section of this article. He says, quote, "It's not like Ubisoft San Francisco isn't already feeling the pressure either. Earlier this month, Ubisoft cut 45 jobs at its San Francisco, California, and North Carolina offices, with around 10 actively working on XDefiant and even more at the studio losing their jobs due to Rocksmith Plus scaling down." No one really gives a shit about Rocksmith Plus. I haven't heard anyone talk about that game ever. Ubisoft is already doing bad enough. They're already starting to cut jobs from Ubisoft because of this game. Do you honestly really think that they're gonna turn shit around by the end of season 3? To me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to fire people who are already working on XDefiant because that's just gonna increase stress, increase workload. People are gonna do a half-assed job and not do their absolute best working on this game to try to fix it. So you're setting yourself up for failure already coming out of the gate. If we can just be fucking real for 1 second, let's just be super real and honest with ourselves. The game is very likely to not improve by the end of season 3. I hate saying this shit. I don't want to be negative about another goddamn game, especially since there's a lot of good games coming down the pipeline. I don't know, man. It's pissing me off so bad that these studios are still not realizing that when you fuck up on a game and then fail to deliver the apology that follows, like, what do you expect? What the fuck do you actually expect? And it really doesn't make the situation a whole lot better either, because the day before this post came out from XDefiant Alerts and Tom Henderson, the official XDefiant X page said, "We love the excitement everyone has to see Bomb arrive in XDefiant. In order to make sure the mode has the right level of polish, Bomb had been moved back a few weeks and will now be launching in season 2. Here's a sneak peek for all those who have been patiently waiting." They show a little bit of a clip here about the Bomb mode. I mean, people who have been expecting it and are excited for it, I'm glad you guys are going to be able to experience that. However, this is not going to bring a massive influx of players into the game. I appreciate them saying that they moved it back because the mode was broken and buggy as shit. My words, not theirs, but I mean, they kind of insinuated it. And we're talking about XDefiant here. Is that really, like, you know, too far to assume? Is it really now? And even like looking deeper into the post of the Bomb mode, you're going to see people saying dead game, release it unpolished, we're tired of waiting, the game is still broken, the game sucks, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they can't win right now, and rightfully so, because they pissed off a lot of people and continue to piss off a lot of people. Do I think people should be commenting all that shit? No, not really. I don't think people should be doing that. But people have a point. This shit has taken way too fucking long and the game is still in a not so good state. Is it fun to play? I mean, sure, if you have nothing else on your hard drive, but you know what's even better than playing XDefiant? Playing Delta Force. That game is free. It plays like Battlefield. There's more stuff to do in that goddamn game than there is in XDefiant. It plays like an actual game. XDefiant still plays like a tech demo in comparison to Delta Force. I know people are gonna say, well, that's not a fair comparison, Red. That's not a fair comparison. Of course it fucking is. They're two free-to-play games. Of course, one is large-scale combat with an extraction type mode, and this one is just straight up PvP with objective modes, but the premise is still the same. There's choices to be made because they're free to play games. You can play both, you can enjoy both, but personally, I would recommend playing Delta Force over this fucking game. Well, Red, the game has only been out since May. Yeah, and it's been delayed 17 fucking times. So like, what are we talking about here? I don't know, man. If you ask me, I think Ubisoft is fully aware that this game is probably not gonna make it past season 3. They're already starting to prepare for the worst in all of this, and it's very unfortunate. I say this every goddamn time, but it is very unfortunate that people are going to be losing their jobs because of this game. There's people who are working on this title who are just trying to make it in the industry, get something on their resume so they can continue doing great things. It's unfortunate, man. It really is. It's very unfortunate, especially with how the job market is today in the creator field and developer field. Man, it is so rough. And I wish the guys who are working on this game, if it does not go well, if it does not go well and the game ends up getting shut down and people who are working on the game get laid off, I genuinely hope that those guys have a successful career outside of this game. I genuinely do. It's unfortunate. It really is. But again, none of us are very shocked at this point. None of us are surprised. We just kind of expected it to happen any day. What do you guys think about all this bullshit that's going on with XDefiant? Let me know down in the comment section below. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like button, that sub button, and smash that notification bell for all content like this. And as always, my name is Red Beard Mortis. Speak loud, speak the truth, and I will see you in the next one.